Good morning. You're watching the John and Alex Show. I'm Alex.
And I'm John.
And welcome to our final episode of 2015.
Oh, man,
Wow.
what a year.
I know. This is so exciting. I mean, of course, we started this show kind of towards the end of the year, but so many things have happened in 2015.
It was like 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
We've been doing this forever.
Episode. We've only done this for a little while, but that's okay. No, we've been having fun with this, and we will definitely be continuing in 2016. So we're looking forward to that, and we're looking forward to so many other things coming up in 2016.
Yeah, the whole idea behind this show is really just to, get off our butts and do something.
Sure.
To talk about relevant topics, to learn, to improve who we are, and just to build something new. So we really appreciate your continued support and for tuning in.
Of course, and we also, aside from that, it's definitely great for us, but we also want to help you folks provide, we want to provide some informative and entertaining information to our viewers. So we're hoping that you enjoy what we've been putting out so far. And of course, if you've got any comments and feedback for us, we'd really love to hear it. And we'll definitely take it in to consideration for this upcoming year.
Yeah. So today's episode is going to be about the end of the year. Yep. We'll talk about some of our traditions. We'll talk about some of our resolutions, goals, and we'll just tee up for 2016.
Yeah. Are you excited?
I am. This was a really interesting year for me. I mentioned in a past episode just the year of transition. Mm-hmm. So I see 2016 as a year of transformation. So it's applying sort of, all of that knowledge, the momentum into the new year.
Yeah.
I was talking to a buddy last night, and he was telling me the odd numbers are the sort of like the down numbers. I don't know if that's a positive way to look at it, really. I noticed, though, there tend to be a pattern for me, especially in my life, where the odd numbers definitely there was a little bit more challenge and struggle, and then the even numbers tend to be a little bit more of like a growth and expansion. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
I've never thought of it that way. I guess not really by odd and even. I've been just trying to make every year something big, Yeah,
so. Totally. I'm more of the type that will pursue each year differently.
Yeah, definitely. I have, at least for the past 5 years, I think I may have mentioned that I feel like every year has been so different.
Right.
Especially since 2011 when I graduated high school. I moved to Japan, and then I moved to Oahu, and then the next year I did Miss Hawaii, and then I graduated from college, and then, so everything was kind of a different pace for me each year. So
has this been kind of the first year where you sort of settled down and like establishing your career?
Well, this year, I guess towards the end of it, this year I did Miss Hawaii again. So it was another whole whirlwind in the beginning of the year, especially.
I expected you to break out in song. New World.
No, so actually that's kind of what I'm anticipating for next year is that now I have a full-time job that I am happy with, and I think I'm just going to stick with that. I am graduating with my MBA next year, but I only have 2 more classes left for that. So I feel like that's just going to be the beginning of the year.
When are you slated to graduate?
Spring 2016.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, coming up.
Yes,
Very
definitely.
Cool.
So aside from that, I feel like things have kind of, gotten to a little bit of a rhythm, of a pattern, and I'm looking forward to that. But at the same time, I always like to have something new, so I'll probably be throwing in
continued growth. You think you're just going to hang out where you want.
I can't live with that.
When the show blows up, as it already is. That's cool. That's really cool. I mean, and you've been through a lot just with your career and with your endeavors, which is really cool.
Same to you as well. So next year's going to be very exciting.
Yeah, next year is definitely going to be very exciting. And speaking of that, being that this is our last episode of 2016
or 2015,
I'm sorry, 2015, right? It's funny. It almost takes me a year to get used to saying the year.
Right.
Yeah. Switch already. New Year's traditions. You're from Hilo. What is it like on New Year's Eve? What was it like when you were a kid in Hilo?
Sure.
On New Year's Eve?
Well, I feel like I don't know if this is of course this is a big thing, I think, in America, and especially in Hawaii, where everyone goes crazy with fireworks.
Right.
And I feel like being from Hilo, especially, there's not too much to do, and there's lots of open air. So the fireworks show is always pretty great.
Is there an actual, a real fireworks show there?
Yeah.
I'm I'm talking about Hilo like it's an island with no internet.
Ooh, yeah, no. We do use the coconut wireless a little bit. Yeah.
Literally, right?
Yeah, no, so usually there's a fire, but generally what we have done as a family is we'd always go to our family friend's house in Volcano.
Okay.
And we would spend New Year, we would usually spend New Year's, 4th of July, and Thanksgiving with them. So we'd have like this big feast, and then we'd go out into their backyard and we would pop around fireworks. So that was always a really fun thing for me growing up. You know, the adults would like set up the fireworks, and we would like play with poppers and little sparklers and whatnot.
Yeah.
So that was, yeah, it was a lot of fun. Lately, they have been coming over to our house because now we have a nice view of the Hilo Bay fireworks show on our deck.
Sweet.
So yeah, last year I went back for New Year's, and you know, we had a nice fireworks show, and I remember right afterwards our pet chicken ended up, Shido-chan ended up finding a way into the house, and so we're like, oh,
that was on New
Happy
Year's.
New Year's, and then we like go back in, and my mom was like, Shido-chan, what are you doing here?
We're having Shido for dinner.
Oh no!
No, just kidding. I'm just kidding. Peter, you didn't hear that.
Yeah, so that was a fun New Year's. But how about you? What are your traditions?
Cool. You know, so ever since I was a little kid, it was popping fireworks. Also, you know, like Alex mentioned, Hawaii was had fireworks legal, I guess, right?
Yeah.
I know a lot of the mainland states aren't.
Right.
They
Yeah,
don't have a concept of what firework. Popping your own fireworks.
Growing up, I was like, that was, you know, a huge thing. And then when I found out that some states don't do that, I was like, so what do you do on New Year's?
Yeah, they watch TV and they watch this ball thing drop.
Oh yeah, the ball drop.
Right. Yeah, so popping fireworks, barbecue, everyone just kind of partying. You know, as a kid, especially a kid that likes to get into trouble, I would make fires and I would write my name on the road, and the next day my dad would be like, what is that? I'll wash it off. Or you know, and I think the most fun for me was the next day. You know,
really?
Like riding my bike around looking for fireworks that didn't pop yet, and then with my little lighter. It was so bad.
Oh no, pyromaniac over here.
A little bit. I don't know. I think it's just the seeing something go from a solid state to nothing to add. That's my.
And then of course
that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you know, there used like morning glories and all those things, like a lot of fire. So so yeah, just spending time with family. You know. All that stuff. I think one of my most memorable New Year's, though, I talked to you about this last week when we were talking about the show, is between 1999 and 2000. I actually spent that New Year's inside watching my computer. I was waiting for it to explode.
John, last night of the year.
I know.
Of your life. I
survived. You know what happened, though?
What happened?
My clock changed.
Wow.
I was expecting something a little bigger.
Fireworks from your computer
screen.
screen.
Something like here's what I was expecting, like code across the screen.
Oh, like
Matrix. Like a Matrix.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess we'll have to wait till the year 3000.
I'm pretty sure the date will just change. I don't think anything will really go wrong.
Well, by then we'll be like on actual hoverboards and like flying cars, right?
Right.
But yeah, actually, speaking of which, that's going to be really exciting to see what technology comes out next year.
Yeah, I was actually. This is funny you should bring this up because I did look at a list the other day.
You and your list.
Yeah, you know, doing research for our Christmas show, I came across a list of trends in 2016, and I think this would actually make a really good show. Maybe our first show coming back into the new year. However, there's lots of. It was actually more trends in technology. Okay. And one of the ones that popped out to me are that apps are going to die.
Really?
So actual native apps will likely disappear. This is just some kind of firms.
Some speculation.
Yeah, it's like speculation. However, they were saying that there will be more and more apps like WeChat that have built-in apps in them. You know, so you'll launch one environment and then you'll be able to do everything inside that one environment. So native iOS apps, they're seeing that they're going to be disappearing. So that's kind of an interesting thought. What else do you think will change in 2016?
That's a good question. You know, I got to put some thought into that. I think, yeah, it's really interesting, especially how the year progresses. So much changes. Yeah. But of course, next year is going to be the presidential election. Okay. Well, there's going to be a bunch of other elections as well. But yeah, no, that's going to be really exciting. So I am assuming that the political climate is going to get even more heated.
That is, as the year was really, I guess like a turning point. I don't know. It felt different for me. Partially, I think because he has white ties, and he's like the first black president, and all those things. So I feel like there was an interesting time in his presidency, and I feel like the next president is going to be really interesting to see who becomes the next president.
Yeah, definitely, and I think especially because President Obama has been here for 8 years, and I think for us, this is kind of like our time where we have come of age. At least for me, like when he was first elected, that was the first time I was able to vote. So wait, never mind, that wasn't true. When he's realizing
she's older than she said she is.
I'm younger than I say I am. Actually,
okay. You actually didn't vote yet. No.
Yeah, no. When he was first elected, I don't think I was able to vote. But no. So for me, it was kind of like, okay, this is when things are really happening, when I'm actually being able to understand more of the world, and he is in office.
Right.
So now I think it's going to be very interesting, especially for those who are now coming of age, to see what happens in the world as we have a new leader.
I was editing, and not to go too much on politics here, I was editing video yesterday with a couple of my buddies, and they're older dudes, they have a lot to say about the world and its people. And there was a presidential debate with some of the lower candidates in there, and it was, I don't know who, I have no idea. I was like, is that Newt Gingrich? I'm like, I have no idea who's who. I thought one was Hugh Hefner, and I was like, see, that guy I wouldn't vote for because I don't like his hair, you know, or it's like his tie doesn't match, or I don't like the type of collar he has. So it was all about like, this is how kids vote these days. It's like, you know, your personal brand, what kind of energy you put out there, how are you being, you know, that's what kids are seeing, you know. I don't know, I mean, I'm sure they're educated on the topics, or you know, on the issues, don't get me wrong. However, I pick out wine by the wine label, you know, and I'm just saying that it's interesting to see how personal brand really plays in what someone's instant judgment is of someone, especially a presidential candidate. So
yeah, well, I think optics have always played a huge role in these types of things. I watch a lot of political dramas.
Is optics really just another word for how you look? Like
well, essentially, it's like PR. You know, like they focus on your image, your brand, etc.
I'm gonna start using optics.
Okay, that'll be the buzzword of 2016. I know. It's always,
it'll land in Urban Dictionary.
Actually, that's a really cool thing to see what's going to come up
words.
Too. Yeah,
so there's the Oxford Dictionary, Oxford, like new words or something that comes up every year.
Oh, really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so I know that they add new words every year. I want to say OMG was one of them this year. Or
this
selfie.
Year, really?
Yeah, or
I thought that was like a while ago, because I know twerk is like officially in the dictionary.
It was. I don't know exactly when OMG was born. I'm getting old, okay?
I know. Okay, cool. Well, yeah,
so what's
things that are happening in 2016. We're staying on topic, right?
Right. I feel like there's a way for us to talk about politics and not make it so political. Yeah. What else? I feel like 2015 was a big year in like renewable energy. You know, Elon Musk made some huge contributions. And with Tesla and those home batteries, I feel like electric hybrid cars have come a long way.
Yeah.
You know, the Teslas now are self-driving, so you can just punch in GPS and let the thing drive for you.
It's so amazing to me.
I heard a story. I actually talking to one of my friends who had just ordered a Tesla, and she was saying that there are some nerds around the world. The nerds. I don't mean to make them out to be bad. However, this is something that a nerd would do is like punch the GPS in, close the door, and let their car drive alone. So that's,
I mean, isn't that what the whole self-automated car thing is?
Yeah, I don't think that was Elon Musk's vision though of how self-driving would work.
Someone would usually be in the car.
Someone would be in the car, like manning the thing. So,
yeah. I think Nissan is also coming out with an automated car.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. Would you trust the self-driving car?
Well, it's probably better than my driving.
Let me go check your parking.
My mom, whenever she's in the car, she's like, "Oh my God, slow down."
She's holding on. Yeah. Does that bother you when people hold on to you?
A little bit. I'm like, come on, trust.
It's not so much that I feel like they're not safe. It's like it kind of makes me nervous.
I see.
Relax, chill.
You know, pull like a tuck and roll and jump out like James Bond.
It's funny.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So that's what we're expecting to happen in 2016. If you guys have any, ideas of what might be coming up, let us know, please, because obviously we don't really know what's happening in 2016.
Well,
but
I mean,
people are probably a bit more educated on.
You know, part of this whole process is for us to be a little bit more aware of trends, like trends, tipping points, things that make people tick, going viral. Those are all things that really interest me. So
same here.
So I'm super excited to see what the world has in store for us.
Yeah, I guess maybe we should do a trends episode in the beginning of the year and put a little bit more research into this. And and if you have any ideas or if you want to share with us some trends that you expect to happen, please let us know. We'll look into that and maybe mention it in our next episode.
Yes.
But we also wanted to discuss some of our resolutions.
Yeah.
And I think we have talked about this a bit in a previous episode. But John, why don't you give us some of your New Year's resolutions for us?
New Year's resolutions. You know, I'm a big believer of every day is like a new year. You know, I also live my life as though every day is Friday. So, you know, that's just sort of, that's just sort of how I operate. So as far as like resolutions go, I'll set. I don't really have too many. You know, a lot of the resolutions that I would normally set at the end of the year, I've set like, you know, a few months ago already. So that's continued health and wellness.
Yep.
It is definitely exploring new profit centers, you know, so I want multiple profit centers in 2016, you know, not just like a couple of income streams. I want like 10 income streams. So diversifying what I'm doing for business. Definitely building a team internationally is going to be another one of my goals. I'm working on my real estate license.
Nice.
So not so much to become a real estate agent, more for referrals. So I have a few content platforms that I own, and I'm going to be using those to build content and do lead generation for real estate.
That's awesome.
Real estate agents. Documentary, you know, the document. So I'm creating more content. Right. You know, that's one of my big themes for 2016: building my influence and creating more content, and definitely travel. Traveling maybe to at least two new countries in 2016.
That's so exciting.
And what else? More property would be nice in 2016. Still working on that one.
Right. So you're just going to be all over the place in 2016.
Yeah.
That's great.
I mean, every year I say this year I'm going to be a millionaire. So
working on it. That's great. Well, I can dream, but I probably won't get to become a millionaire next year. I'll set my intention there. That's true. I'm whatever.
I am a millionaire.
All right, that's all I gotta say. I'm a millionaire. I'm going to also invest in property and whatnot. Actually, I have been thinking next year I do want to learn a lot more about investing and how to, you know, live my life from now on. Now that I am like a full-fledged adult. Yeah.
That's awesome. Wait till you get to 30.
Okay.
I like it. I like getting older because for me it signifies wisdom, you know. And I've gone through a lot of different just life events from like 28 to 30. That was like by far my biggest growth. And turning 30 for me, for a lot of people it's sad. It's like, damn, I'm getting old. For me it was like, yes, I finally understand some things that I've been like you know, exploring for the last 2 years. I finally understand myself much better. Like why I did what I did in my 20s. It was like really weird. I didn't even understand why I would operate the way that I operate. So awareness, right? And then 30 has definitely been taking action on that awareness and knowing that I can't do it all alone, you know, accepting support and just doing the best that I can do every day.
Very cool. Well, those are great words to live by. Yeah. I'll definitely take that into account next year. Yep, or I should take it into account today. Yeah. Yes.
It's like as soon as 2016 rolls around,
like, the next 2 weeks.
I resolve to take those things into account.
Yes. Well, I guess my resolutions are pretty general as well. I think I mentioned in a previous episode that I want to focus on training my body and training my mind. So I think I want next year to be a year of learning for me. I've realized, I think it's funny that you mentioned the older you get, the more you feel like you know, or the more wisdom you have. Yeah. I've been finding that the older I get, the more I realize I don't know. So the more I realize, okay, there's a lot to learn in this world, and I want to take advantage of that. And I think part of me is like, okay, I'm graduating with my MBA next year, and I don't know what's next. I want to continue to learn. So I'm just going to try to find multiple ways of gaining more knowledge. And yeah, filling those holes that I'm currently like, wow, there's so much I don't know about this topic or multiple topics, and I don't like that feeling. So
yeah, totally. For me, it's always been like knowledge acquisition and application. You know, I've done a lot of learning through failure. You know, just trial and error and figuring things out. So yeah, I think you're on a good track.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I also want to just, you know, be a bit. I feel like this year I was very happy for sure, but I want to focus on my happiness and do things that I love, things that I'm passionate about. And so I think I'm going to look to different avenues of being able to perform. You know, I've been a singer for 2 years, or professionally singing for 2 years now, and I kind of want to find different places that I can perform and sing. And I used to be into a lot of musical theater, but I haven't done that in a while, so might be looking into performing and doing musical theater again.
That's cool. You should start a YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, it's a good idea. John, do you want to be like a co-host for my YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good. Should we name it like the John and Alex Show?
We'll call it the Alex and John Show.
Okay, we'll flip it over then.
Live.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, totally. I'm all about like put it on YouTube. Yesterday we were playing video games. Not playing video games. We were eating dinner. My brother comes downstairs and he's like, "Let me show you some video game videos." And I'm like, okay. And then so he actually like showed us his gameplay from Grand Theft Auto. I'm like, yeah, some dude makes like $8 million a year doing this thing. You should start it. And he's like, no one's gonna watch. And I was like, with that attitude, no one will. And I don't know. I just think it's the year for like, I don't know, like capitalizing on things.
Interesting.
You know, I feel that energy.
Making things more public and.
Yeah, like not only making things public, like taking control of your career. You know? Like I see more and more people like my brother, who's a machinist at Pearl Harbor, like finding something and doing that for a living instead. I see my mom, who is in her 60s now, like starting like multiple businesses and like, you know, like replacing her income and becoming an entrepreneur. I just see that all around me. I don't know if it's just my circle or if that's just the general like energy. So many of my friends are like, this job, I don't really like it. Like, and I'm one thing, let's build something. I hope you can incubate something. Like, what do you want to do? What do you love to do? Find what you love, find a market, you know, create value around it, put a price on it, sell it.
That's great. Actually, I think I have been seeing that trend as well. You know, a lot of the applications that we're seeing today really come from that, right? People pursuing their passion and making something out of it. And I think that trend is going to continue to grow, and more and more people are going to have more flexible work schedules, setting their own work schedules, and
telecommuting. You know, I think companies also are becoming a lot more aware of how the worker of 2015, 2016 behaves. You know, I think before it was like no social media. Now it's like, hey, use social media. Use social media. We want you to use it. Talk about our company. Talk about what you're doing. Right. You know, so that's definitely an evolution that I see. You know, social media, as far as I know it, I think I don't even know where social media is going to be in 2016, honestly. I feel like content creation is definitely a big part of it. I think Snapchat had a lot to do with that. People telling stories, you know, I feel like those people will start to come out of the woodwork and be a little bit more formal about their storytelling. So I see a lot more. I see 2016 is like the year of content, the year of storytelling. I really do.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I think 2015 had a lot of that, and it's just going to continue, and more people are going to jump on board, and yeah,
it was like finding their footing, you know? Kind of like how we were finding our footing here a few weeks ago.
We maybe still are finding our footing. No, I think
it looks professional to me, you know?
Yeah, no, we're gotten a lot better.
If you're wondering why we still are just using a webcam and like, you know, just onboard audio, it's you know, it's all about just producing content right now and then perfecting it as we go. So in the new year, we'll definitely be looking at some new formatting. We're going to be taking the last 13 episodes that we've done and really breaking down the analytics to see what worked and what didn't work, hopefully improving the audio and video. And we already got some really cool lighting. It's actually Danny G's lighting that we've been using.
That you can't see, but you can see reflecting on us.
Right. I mean, I think it's been looking a lot better. So we've come a long way.
We sure have. Well, that's going to be really exciting. I mean, there's so much going on in the world and in our own lives that are going to be happening and progressing in 2016. And we're looking forward to hear, you know, more about our viewers' lives, because, you know, sometimes we live in our own little bubble, and we want to hear more about trends that are happening in your own life and the way you see the world.
Yeah, we'll definitely be improving our platform so that people can comment. And you know, we've been having some really faithful, awesome viewers.
Yes,
we don't know who a lot of you are.
Thank
David
you.
is one, Koa is another. There are a bunch of people that have been tuning in and let me know that they've been watching it and stuff.
Yeah, same here.
You know, being part of content platforms in the past, I know that there are a lot of people who just lurk and they don't comment. You know, so for us as content creators, like part of what makes us go is to see your comments and to see your feedback. So, you know, definitely be more vocal with what you're watching and what you're thinking, and then we'll do the same.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so I mean, speaking of 2015, just, I don't know, we have a few more minutes. I don't know if you want to do this, Alex. Google trending on Facebook today, Google just released 2015's top search queries.
Ooh,
now,
that's
I think
interesting.
kind of a cool one to watch through. Are you down for that?
Yes, definitely. Let's share our screen.
Share the screen, and we'll just watch this quick video, and then we'll talk about it.
For the people out there wondering what this is all about, whether it's about courage or controversy, well, I'll tell you what it's all about. It's about what happens from here.
Thank you, and good luck.
Live, fight like hell.
It's not just about one person. It's about thousands of people. It's about all of us. Accepting one another.
This morning, the Supreme Court recognized that the Constitution guarantees marriage equality.
We're all different. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. And while it may not be easy to get past the things you don't always understand, it is absolutely possible if we only do it together.
Love it.
That was interesting. I was actually expecting like a list of stuff. That was just Google's version of their epic video.
Nice. I like how there are a lot of themes that popped up. You know, I feel like this year was a lot of questions on how we can become more equal. How can we reach more peace? And we saw that a lot through, you know, equality and the LGBT community, or with women, and with race. So I think that was really cool that that Google featured it in that
I had no idea that was Miss Jenner.
Oh, Caitlyn Jenner when she's talking. Yeah,
I was like, wow, this is a really epic speech. Who's the voiceover? Boom.
Yeah.
Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah, that was
Crazy.
pretty epic.
Yeah, it was definitely epic, and yeah, so really cool. I actually did click on a story here. So Star Wars got 155 million searches. I'm not sure if that was the top search. Yeah, well, so December.
Okay.
Yeah, so Paris Under Attack.
Oh, just for each month?
Yeah, each month.
Okay, that's great.
So last month, 897 million plus searches for Paris Under Attack. Adele's Year, you know, she's actually going on tour next year. Did you see that?
I saw that.
I think we should broadcast live from Adele's next concert. Water on Mars.
You're gonna get me tickets to Adele's next concert?
Maybe we'll get a sponsor to sponsor it. Royals win the World Series. Volkswagen emissions scandal. Migrant crisis. Cecil the Lion. Wow, interesting. And yeah, a lot of politics in the summertime.
Caitlyn Jenner.
Caitlyn Jenner in June. Mayweather versus Pacquiao. Wow, farewell to the brightest stars.
The dress.
The dress.
Remember that.
That could be like a whole nother show.
Yeah, well, that's cool. A lot happened in 2015, and
A
it's
lot.
always great to see the year in review to kind of get a little refresher there.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we're looking forward to 2016. I hope you are too. And that's our last episode of the year, John.
Yes, it is. So we'll be back. Did we decide when we're going to be back yet?
Oh yes, January 4th, I believe.
January 4th. Okay, actually,
So set your calendars.
I'll actually still be in Tokyo.
Oh, you
So
were.
We'll
You will.
broadcast live from Tokyo.
I guess.
Okay, so it'll be 4 a.m. Awesome. Sounds good. We'll make it happen.
All right. Well, we thank you all so much for your viewership for the past several months, and we really hope that you continue to tune in from January and throughout 2016. We'll see where this show goes, and we're hoping that you'll be more a part of it to help us progress.
Thank you so much for watching the John and Alex show, and
Have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year and peace.